All right. Like I was saying earlier, this is an example of people who come in with a good amount of buzz, right? And you're excited for it, and then they just vanish. And to remind you people of this individual, Deonna Purrazzo, she came in, I don't want to say with a lot of fanfare, but in my opinion, with a good amount of hype. And I personally was very excited for her to come in. I This was like I was saying with Okada and Omega earlier, how I wish they would have gone to WWE. I, on the flip side with this one, was very happy that Deonna went to AEW. I was thinking she is going to be a phenomenal asset to their women's division. She's just going to stack it, get that depth in there, and just really help it grow. Kind of be like a Ruby Soho placement in WWE, where Ruby Soho was kind of like a utility player. And like maybe a Natalia for a more recent reference. Not necessarily, obviously Natalia has more years under her belt than Deonna does, but in the sense that Deonna is kind of like a ring general at this point, in my opinion, right? And obviously has more experience than a lot of the women wrestlers do on AEW, and just for the sense that she's been doing it longer, right? Like no diss to the other, like your Sky Blues and stuff like that. Like they just reps under your belt. Like you can only get experience over time, right? And you can only get that experience over time by establishing time, right? And putting the time in. So don't knock on anyone like that. But I was very hopeful. I thought that she was going to come in and not necessarily become the champ immediately, but and dethrone Tony Storm at the time. But I thought that she would maybe come in and have a little bit more impact, no pun intended, than she did. Um, but no, she came in. She had a good story and a good match with Tony Storm, in my opinion. But then she just fell off, and again, not her in ring wise, right? But character wise, just disappeared. Just was one of those that she, I think, went to a Rampage for a while. And again, full disclosure, I was not watching Rampage weekly. Their last show is coming up actually this Friday, RIP. But it's, again, I'm not going to beat the dead, literally the dead horse at this point. But if you don't show me a recap of what happened on Rampage, if you don't make me feel like an asshole for missing out on Rampage, then I'm not going to make it a point to invest even more time. Because if we sat here and added up all the hours of wrestling that is on TV and shit that we technically should be keeping up on, if we're just watching the shows, period, like it's insane. It's like an absurd amount of time, and an insane amount of time. I almost combined absurd and insane there. Absane, or whatever I was gonna call it. But it's just bonkers, right? And this is coming from someone who has been like obsessed with wrestling since I was a child, and even I have to draw the line. I have to have a life. I have to have a disconnect. You know what I mean? To miss it, you make me miss it. You make me want to miss it. You know what I mean? So I'm at the point now where I'm missing Deonna Purrazzo, and I was like, damn, where'd she go? And then obviously, so because I was missing her and I didn't even realize she was wrestling on Rampage, which may be my fault, and I will take that blame if that's what it is. But now she's supposed to be teaming up with Taya Valkyrie, and then they're trying to get that tag team going. So okay, but okay, but like I'm not advocating for women's tag team titles, so cool, and maybe get a little stable, I guess, or something going on there, or it's cool just to have a friend, I guess. But yeah, so at the end, I'm giving her an F, and I hate to say that she is the first F on the board. And again, it pains me to say that because I was very hopeful for Deonna coming in, but they have just tanked it with her. And I don't think, not even though I gave her an F for the presentation and just the lack of consistency with her, in my opinion, I don't think she's dead and buried, right? I think if even like starting in next year, right, if you were to bring her back up like she went down to NXT or something. But if you were to bring her back up and make her even just have her, because she's amazing on the mic too, and like her presence just, and that's why it's frustrating for me, and that's why it pains me to give her an F. But I just like, if you just give this woman a shot and just give her time, like damn, like she could really add substance to your product. So shame on the booking team for making me give Deonna an F. I'm blaming you guys.